Yo, what's going on, everybody? We back. We back. Um, man, it's been a while. It feels weird. You know what I mean? Like when you haven't streamed in a while, and you kind of have to get back into that like rhythm, I guess. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. I don't know. I'm just happy to like be back to just kind of being like on YouTube and the capacity that I'm going to be back on it. You know what I mean? So shout out to all y'all that watch the video, understand where I'm coming from, and yeah. So just quickly, and I don't have a lot of time because I have to get to work in a bit. Just want to let y'all know what I'm gonna be doing. You know what I mean? What I'm gonna be doing, how I'm gonna be doing it, and shout out to you, Hardcore Weeboo. What's good? What's good? I'm just like gonna let y'all know what I'm gonna be doing, how I'm gonna be doing it, and for now until like I can like figure out something that I know will work and that is maybe more substantial than what I'm gonna be doing for now. So I think I took like a month off of like this, which was great. Like I needed that. I was busy. I had work, like school, all these different things like that I had to just make sure I focused on. So I did that. And it was good. Like it was good. I'm in a good place. School wise, work wise, like, the rhythm is there, so that's good. I've been reading a lot. Like I've been reading a lot of manga on my own, that I wanted to start. A lot of books like critical theory, stuff like that, those different kinds of things. So, and that's been great just to be able to like sit with it, talk about it, do all those kinds of things. So I'm chilling right now. Just wanted to let y'all know, like, okay, how the sort of like streaming is gonna go, and what I'm going to be streaming, like about like what series I'm gonna be covering, how I'm gonna be covering them, and stuff like that. So I think the first thing is like got to talk about the weekly Shonen Jump content, right? Because like that's like the stuff like people. I think a lot of people do come here to like check out like the like if I do like a little bit like a mini read through how I feel about the chapters, stuff like that. So I think the main stuff that I'm going to be covering, I'm definitely going to be covering The Promised Neverland. I think that's going to be like a weekly thing. Like weekly, I will read The Promised Neverland chapter, and I'm going to also be covering Haikyuu and My Hero. I think those are the three that I'm definitely going to cover. Like I think, and it'll just be those three. The other series, like One Piece, I just dropped. Like y'all already know. Like if you follow me on Twitter, like I dropped One Piece. I have no like interest in covering it. Doesn't mean I can't talk about it at all or anything like that. I just don't care about what's going on, like where it is story wise, like plot wise and all that. I'm not interested. So I'm not covering it. So, I'm going to avoid like, getting on Twitter and like spamming, like, One Piece is whack, this character is whack. I'm going to avoid that. Like, I don't need like that, negativity, like, on my feed and stuff like that. I'm just trying to avoid that at this point. Cause I know what it does, like mental health wise, I know what it does to me. Like it does not end well and it doesn't really end well. So I'm just avoiding that. All right. So I'm not really going to talk about it. Like I have feelings about it, obviously. And there are things I have viewpoints, obviously, but I'm not ever going to really like, I don't not say ever, but generally I'm not going to bring that stuff up. Like there's still people that I talk to about that stuff, privately, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna do that privately. Like you're not really going to see that. All right. Again, I'm just trying to avoid that negativity, like, because for mental health wise for me, like it helps. Like it helps me stay like, up. You know what I mean? So I am not covering One Piece. All right. None of those rants or anything like that. I have friends like, that are really good about talking about One Piece, critiquing it, doing all that stuff. And, so you could look out for them. You know what I mean? You could look out for them. They do a great job of it. And they're very consistent about it. But I'm not going to be doing that like publicly. But yeah, again, like there are other series, Weekly Shonen Jump series that I will be like reading on my own. Maybe, there may be like points where I say, you know what, here are my thoughts on, Demon Slayer at the moment and where it is at the moment. Here are my thoughts on Black Clover and where Black Clover is at the moment. Here are my thoughts on where Act Age is at the moment. You know what I mean? Here are my thoughts on where, even though Hunter x Hunter's on a hiatus, like where Hunter x Hunter is on, like at the moment, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like there are a decent, like I'm reading a decent number of Weekly Shonen Jump series. I'm not reading all of them because like I'm not interested in all of them, right? But I'm pretty much reading like a decent number of them, All right, so I'm gonna be doing that, and then Michael, what's good? What's good? Trent, what up? What up? Yeah. Let's see, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like the read through for One Piece thing, I think like what I realized is that it wasn't coming from a place that was like it wasn't really constructive. Like really, I think I wanted to just be like, oh, this is garbage. I'm just gonna shut it down. But I was like, but what's the point of that? Like it didn't make me happy. I didn't like look forward to doing that. That doesn't mean that I wasn't like reading it at all. It's just like I was like, why am I doing it though? And I think for me, it's always like, what's the point? Like whenever I'm thinking about things, share the day. What's good? But it's like, what's the point? Why am I doing it? You know what I mean? Trent Money, my guy, what's good? You know what I mean? That's the thing, right? Like, if I'm not doing it to like, maybe improve anything or to add anything particularly positive or something like that, in a way like progressive or whatever, I have to like reevaluate like why I'm doing a particular thing. I have to. So for this, I was like, there's no point. Like people are already doing that. They got their read-throughs, they talking about it, So I was like, nope, let me not do that. Let me like read like manga that I like actually want to read, new series that I want to spend time reading, books that I want to spend, critical books that I want to spend like time reading, novels that I want to spend time reading, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, I'm not doing that. But I think like there are other people that are covering that and have things to say about the series, like my guy Ash, like my guy King Cocoa Butter, that's my dude. You know what I mean? So like he's doing that and he's covering it and he's reading through it and he has thoughts on the series. And he's like an avid fan of One Piece. So you could check him out. Grant. You could check out OP Grant. If y'all don't already know who he is, Grant. That's also my guy. Like doing like amazing critical like reads of like One Piece panels as he's reading through the series. So it's just like there are people already doing that stuff. You just have to like know that they're there. You can follow them, and then maybe you can interact with them and see how you feel about what they're saying, and as opposed to what you feel about like One Piece as a whole and where they are at in their read-throughs. So they're doing that already. I don't really. It's not that I don't have to. I don't really have to. There's no nor do I really have a desire at this point to do that. So yeah, but again, like when it comes to Weekly Shonen Jump, like I want to be covering Promised Neverland, My Hero, and Haikyuu. Those are the three that I'm going to be doing like weekly. So weekly, you will see reactions for those probably on Sundays, like because they come out on Sunday. So on Sundays, you're going to see those three reactions. And to me, I can do that. Like I can handle it because Sundays, like I'm off, I don't work. I have time. I'm going to set a certain time during the day to say like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to react to these chapters and like talk about it for a little bit and my thoughts, and then move on to other stuff that I got to focus on. You know what I mean? Like that's how I'm going to do it. In terms of like series outside of Weekly Shonen Jump that I cover right now, like what I'm thinking is I'm going to focus on one series, read through that series in terms of reactions. I'm going to read through that series, focus on that one, and then finish it, right? Like I'm like, or catch up or whatever. Like that's like, I have to do that because like the other way wasn't really working. I was like, okay, maybe I want to check out this series. Maybe I want to check out that series. Maybe I want to do this, and it wasn't working. It wasn't working. Like I kept jumping around, and I wasn't really being consistent. And like, that's something that I always make sure that I'm working on, like consistency, because like, that's been something that I've always had an issue with, like since I was like little, just like consistency, like consistently doing the things and being on task and all that stuff. Chiganmo, what's up? So that's something that I'm really trying to do. You know what I mean? Michael, what's good? So that's something that I have to do. Like, so I'm going to focus on one series. Currently, I think the one that I've really been focused on is Alita, like Battle Angel Alita. So I'm going to focus on Battle Angel Alita. I'm going to finish those sort of initial 5 volumes. And then like most likely what I'm going to do is just like read all the other stuff like on my own, and like maybe have like a video where like I come up with like the Last Order and like the Mars Chronicle, like that stuff. Like I'm gonna like talk about that stuff in like separate sort of videos. So there might be like one video for like the Last Order stuff, one video for like the Mars Chronicle stuff, and that's how I'm gonna do that. Because I really do want to make sure that I'm moving from like one series to the next, and I'm not like taking up all the time on like certain things. Call me if there's like a volume out, if it's like officially out, I will check it out. But if it doesn't have an official release, then I can't. I'm not doing that. Y'all know how I am. I'm trying to read those official, like, you know what I mean? That's just what I'm doing. So Alita, I'm gonna get back on that. That's going to be, I want to say like bi-weekly. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like it'll probably be bi-weekly. So what'll happen is like you'll have 2 videos a month for an Alita read through, and that's what I'm gonna do. So it's like I'm gonna do 2 videos a month for whichever manga that I'm currently covering outside of Weekly Shonen Jump. So Alita, you're gonna like you can expect an Alita video. Today's what, the 12th. So I would say you can expect like an Alita video, like to getting back on that readathon. And like not this weekend because this weekend's pretty busy, but probably like the following weekend because spring break's coming up. So like I'll have time to like do that during that weekend. So and the videos will be longer. So instead of covering like 3 or 4 chapters, it'll cover more chapters. It'll probably cover like, Alita's long. Like Alita chapters are pretty long. So I'll probably be covering like maybe, let's say, like double that. So like 8 chapters or something like that. There are a series that I have in mind, right? Like Black Hammer, I feel like a comic that, I know Michael's been talking about. I know you've been talking about it, and I definitely want to check it out. So that might be a series that in the future I will cover, and I'll get the volumes, I'll pick them up, and I'll cover that. So that's like the goal, just like to stick to one, consistently come up with those videos, right? Twice a month, and then just shift to another series once I'm done with an initial series. So after Alita, will probably be Monster, because like I started Monster and I really liked it, but I didn't continue reading it because I really wanted to do that for the readathon. So Monster will probably be the next one. And I'll consistently react to that until like I'm done with Monster, and then after that will probably be Nausicaa, and then so on and so forth and so forth. So that's like the goal. The goal is like to do like 2 videos per month for those non-weekly Shonen Jump series, where I cover like multiple chapters and do like those read-throughs. And then like that's what I'll be doing, like I think probably like from now on, just because I think it just makes more sense. It's like consistency is really important. If I can do that, if I can like consistently say I'm gonna put out My Hero, Promised Neverland, and Haikyuu chapter, like weekly chapter reactions on Sundays, and do that weekly, outside of like breaks, breaks and stuff like that, you know what I mean, like Golden Week, like that kind of thing, you know what I mean, like outside of those things, like, and put out 2 videos for the one series that I'm covering, like weekly, then like that's what I'm going to do, and I think that'll work out. I'm gonna also try to like see if I can put on like comic series as well, because I love comics. Like I like comics. It's not that's not enough. You know what I mean? But like, so I want to see if there's comic series that I want to necessarily, that I really want to react to, that I haven't read yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna like put out a video for like volume 6 of Paper Girls, which will come out like probably fairly soon. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna like put out a video for like that, because I've already read the first 5. Like then I have to put out a video about my feelings on the first 5 volumes, and it's a lot. So like I'm not necessarily gonna do that. But I think like for comic series that I haven't read, then I'll read the first volume, see how I feel about it, and that kind of thing. So maybe what I'll do is like I'll switch between like manga and comics. So like there might be one, you know, like when I'll do like a manga read through, shift to a comic, then go back and forth. So I might do that. You know, this is like, for me, it's not even like surprising. Kai asks what's good. This is not surprising because I think one thing that I think I really appreciate about this like space and like and the channel and, you know, people that I talk to is like, y'all read so many different like types of manga and comics and literatures and stuff like that, that it's never like surprising for me to like hear people like throw out titles that I might not have known about, or that I might know about but I haven't read yet, or that I have read and that aren't like really talked about. And you know what I mean? Like I'm never like surprised at that at this point. Maybe at the beginning I would have been, because I would have been like, yo, like I was expecting like people to like, you know, just come through and they throw out Dragon Ball and Naruto and, you know, One Piece and that kind of thing. But like I'm not surprised at all. You know what I mean? Especially like Shugama. Like I'm not surprised if Shugama throws out a title and it's like not like a super popular title, like in terms of like mainstream wise, like in terms of like, you know, let's say like in terms of like Western eyes or anything like that. You know, for me, like, I mean, I go to anybody, like anybody that like anybody. So if someone suggests a manga and I haven't read that manga, I'm probably gonna like, you know, check it out, look into like maybe like a quick synopsis. If it's something that I feel like I can read and it doesn't like ruin the experience for me, then I'll check it out. So I've never been like, oh, I'm not gonna go to this person for a recommendation. Like, no, you know what I mean? If you have a series that you feel like I might like, you know, then I'm gonna check it out. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah. But I think that's, again, like this is generally what I'm going to be doing and just like how I'm gonna be doing it. You know what I mean? So again, like Weekly Shonen Jump chapters, I'm only covering 3 series. I'm not covering the rest of them because like I'm not into them enough to cover them weekly. You know, or maybe like I haven't caught up or something like that, like Demon Slayer, right? Like I'm not caught up to Demon Slayer like quite yet, you know, but I'm gonna get there pretty soon, you know. Like certain things, or maybe I'm just not into in the same way that I'm into those other 3 series. Like I love My Hero, I love Haikyuu, and I love Promised Neverland, you know. And when Hunter x Hunter is like there. Like I'm covering Hunter x Hunter, like I'm covering Hunter x Hunter, like I always cover Hunter x Hunter. You know what I mean? So that's something that I know will be in the lineup once it comes back. You know, for the 10 chapters or so that it comes back for. Usually it's like 9 or 10 chapters or something like that. You know, maybe it might be maybe fewer chapters depending on how Tagashi's feeling or whatever. You know, which is fine for me because usually he always, you know, he always tries to sort of like put out one volume's worth of content. So when that comes back, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get my 8 to 10, you know, chapters. I'm gonna be chilling. You know, I'm gonna love those. I'm gonna relish them. I'm gonna, you know, read them over. I'm gonna think about it because they're always like very like complex and involved in terms of the narratives and thinking about where the different like plot lines are going to move and stuff like that. So like when it comes back, I'm gonna be covering it. In terms of other like content, like, you know, thinking about social issues and stuff like that. I think that's something that what I think I will do is I might have things to say about it, but I think like I have to be very careful about, you know, how like what I talk about and like how I talk about it, because I think like in the past, like me, it was like, okay, you know, I could talk about this thing, but like, you know, then I'd go into this like space and I'd be kind of sad and, you know, and I go into like a depressive bout because like, you know, it would just seem like nobody cares about like a thing that I feel like is particularly important or something like that. But I also felt like maybe I wasn't doing enough work in terms of like looking into the topic that I would discuss. So I think now what I'm probably going to do is sort of be like, okay, like if I do a video on, you know, topics that I feel like are really important, you know, then I'm going to read up on them. You know what I mean? So like that's why I've just been reading. Like the past month, I've just been reading. You know, I've also looked into like, you know, other content that like people have shared with me, you know, from like the other side of things. You know what I mean? Like I consider myself to be like, in terms of the way I think, very like radical in that way. But like progressive, like radical, you know what I mean? So I I'm looking at the other stuff too, like the other side too, like the like extreme, like conservative sides, like the conservative sides, the moderate, like all that stuff, you know, liberal, like all those types of things. So I've just been looking at that stuff and just like thinking about like, well, how do I actually feel about what's being said here? Do these like particular arguments hold up? If so, why or why not? You know, how, like where it, like thinking about the nuance and all of those things and the discussions, and like that's something that I've been trying to be better about, you know. So I'm gonna really take my time with those videos. And so if I, you know, say, hey, here are my thoughts about blah blah blah, then they're gonna be pretty involved, and it's gonna be like, well, you know, this person is noted, blah blah blah, that person is noted. You know, maybe there's just text that I've read on this topic, or these texts that I've read on the topics, and they've done a pretty good job of talking about them in this way. You know, so that's kind of stuff that I'm trying to like be better about, because like it's just you just kind of have to. You know what I mean? It's very easy to just kind of be like, all right, I'm gonna stream, talk about this thing, and then, you know, not really do it like justice. You know, like just kind of be like, all right, I'm doing this just to like, you know, get views or whatever. And I don't want to do that. I think like again, like my life, I don't really need that. You know what I mean? Like I don't need like you know, 1 million subscribers or 2,000 subscribers or anything like that. I'm just like I just want to make videos and like talk to people, and that's always been it. I remember when I hit like 35 followers, and I was like, yo, like I got like all like I got all these people to talk to, and I can converse with them, and I can talk about like these things that I really like, and that was like so cool. So for me, and where I'm at right now, I'm like, yo, you know, like it's dope. So I don't know, like it just, you know what I mean? Like I don't, you know. So the cloud thing is odd to me. I get it. I understand that. Like I understand like how like clout can be important to certain people depending on the industries that they're situated in. I get that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like, no, you trash for this. It happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like for some industries, like clout, like directly leads to, or even indirectly, right, leads to like money, you know, and money's important, right? Like we live in like a capitalist system. So, yo, it's money. All right. So I get it. You know what I mean? But that's just not me. Like again, I have my work. Like I work. Like I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm not like scrounging for like scraps or you know, spare change or anything like that. Like, you know, and I'm blessed for that. You know what I mean? I didn't come from a lot, so you know, financial like wise, right? Financial wise, like or fiscal, like money wise. So you know, but I'm gonna be like pretty diligent about those videos, and they're not gonna be a lot of them, like every week or anything like that. But I think like yeah, it's just gonna be me talking about those things and being much more like clearly informed about it. You know, because like I was talking with someone, and like, you know, some of y'all know Farouk, some of y'all don't. But like, you know, one thing I will say, like, you know, and we talk like through like DMs and stuff like that. And like, you know, one thing he was like, I think right about to me is like, you know, I could definitely be more nuanced about like how I talk about things on the channel. I think when I'm talking about things like in private with people and stuff like that, I think the way I talk about things tends to be more nuanced. But I think like when I'm on the channel, then it's sort of like, okay, you know, you get into this mode, you get into YouTuber mode, and that can kind of get in the way of like truly like progressive like discussions about certain topics and stuff. So I'm trying to avoid that. You know what I mean? So yeah. But again, that's kind of where I am right now. I'm good. I'm chilling. And I'm back, you know, and I'm just gonna be doing what I'm gonna do. All right. So yeah, Michael's recommendations for days. Shugama has recommendations for days. Everybody in this chat generally like has, you know, can recommend you like manga, anime, stuff like that you'll probably like, you know, and people that aren't in the chat, you know what I mean? So yeah, like, you know, like there are conversations I have with people off like YouTube, and they're constantly suggesting like different like, you know, very different like manga and interesting manga. And then when I check them out, I'm like, yo, I'll be right back. Give me a sec. I gotta log off because I gotta get to work. But give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab something. Okay, so there were two series that I started reading, like two manga series that I started reading that like the first volumes that I really, really like that I think are very good. That it sort of grip me in a way that I like. Like I like it. Like you know what I mean? When you read a first volume, you're like, yo, I want to read more of that. You know what I mean? Like that's like the initial thing, right? So like Spirit Circle by Satoshi Mizukami like is really, really good. The first volume is like really, really good. I really like Spirit Circle. I like it a lot. I think there's things that there's a way in which a story is told that's just it's just dope. It's just dope. Like this idea of like reincarnation and what it means to sort of like be multiple like people at sort of like the same time, not in the like psychological sense in that way. I don't think you know what I mean, not like like the multiple personality, like that kind of thing. I'm not talking about that because I don't think that's what's right. That's not what's happening there. That's very different. It's like a mystical like spiritual like thing, right? Again, which is very different. So like I love what's happening in that story, and I think it's just great. And it's just dope. Like I just want to keep reading. I'm like, yo, what's gonna happen? How are they gonna like? It's just good. I would say check it out. Shout out to Grant Baxter for recommending that series because I had the volume, but I hadn't started reading it. I someone mentioned it, and then Grant Baxter was like, yo, like shout out to you, Grant Baxter. Like you already know who you are, right? And he's like, yo, you gotta check it out. It's so good. And he loves the author. I believe Satoshi Mizukami has also written Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, I believe it's called. And like, I haven't read that yet, but I want to check it out. So I'm gonna head over to like my local manga shop, see if they have any volumes in stock. And if they don't, I'll just ask them to order it. Because I'm always around like there because I work like in that area on Saturdays. And like that series is dope. That's what I'm saying. The second one that I actually went over to my went over to grab as well is Kamine Shirahama, which had I can't pronounce this word. Atelier, I guess is how you pronounce it. I don't know. But I'm gonna look it up and see how I can pronounce it. But this series, like the first chapter is really, really cool. Like you know what? It's like the art is gorgeous. Like that's the first thing. Like when you start reading the manga, you're like, yo, this art is dope. Like it's dope. You know what I mean? So like there are just like certain like little bits like the shading is phenomenal. Just like the way that like different like depths in terms of lines and stuff like are utilized like for certain types of effect and things like light and like it's just great. It's just great. So the art, it will just like it'll grab you pretty much so right away. But that series is really, really good. I like how it starts. It reminded me of like a bunch of other series. In some ways, Full Metal, My Hero, like things that like, and just in terms of thinking about it, you know what I mean? Obviously, like it's very much like a magical like in some ways like I would say it's a magical girl kind of series, but not in the way that like a lot of people think about it, like not in a super conventional sort of sense. But I mean, I love magical girl series. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love magical girl series. Like, lyrical girl. Like, you know what I mean? Cardcaptor Sakura, Sailor Moon. You know what I mean? Those series are dope. Like, right? Madoka. Like, those series are dope. So yeah. But I really like this series. I like the sort of premise of it. I think the first chapter is really great. Shout out to a bunch of people that have suggested it. Gabby, Tails, Tales of Color, right? Gabby. Shout out to y'all who recommended that series. Because I spotted Manga Mogura, who is on Twitter and like constantly is suggesting different types of manga, great manga suggestions, stuff like that. Jocelyn Allen, who I believe is also maybe suggested it. I'm not sure. But I love this series. I think it's really, really, really good. And I think all y'all should check it out. I think it's really great. And that's published by Kodansha. Spirit Circle is published by Seven Seas, both of whom are just great. They just publish like great stuff, really interesting like type. Viz as well, right? So, yeah. But man. So I've just been reading them. I've just been reading them. And like I've had time You know what I mean? I've had time to do that. Just like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna read this first chapter. I'm not gonna react to it because like it takes a lot more energy to react to a first chapter or volume or whatever than it does just like read it on your own and like take it in and do all that kind of thing. So that's been great. There are other manga that I've also been reading and that I've really, really liked. I'm trying to think of some of the titles at the moment. Man. Oh, Real. Like I started reading Real. Like I wanted to react to that, but like I'm reading that on my own and it's like fire. Like it's so good. Like these, like the series though, like Spirit Circle is really good. Witch Hat Atelier is really good. Real is dope. Like, and shouts out to like a bunch of people who have suggested it. Michael, Orphe, you know, a few people have suggested Real and been like, yo, that manga, like, and they've said that like they feel like Real is better than Slam Dunk, which is like, whoa. I haven't really read Slam Dunk like that. I started reading it on this channel, and I'm probably gonna get back to it. But like, Real is so good. Like, there are just moments that you don't expect them to get to you, and then they get to you, and you're like, oh, and it just levels you. You're just like, oh, you know, it'll hit you hard, and you have to like, you got to be like, all right, come on, let's get back into the reading the series, right? Because sometimes it's just so intense, in the best way, you know. So I can't wait to get back to that. I'm gonna start volume 3 probably on Saturday, just like to keep reading and stuff like that. And yeah, like it's been great. Like they might like, you know, so I'm not gonna try to cover every series that I read on like my channel. I think that's kind of where I kind of tripped up. You know, like Aka 13, which is translated by Jocelyn Allen, who is like dope. And Jocelyn, like, shouts out to you, like, is constantly translating dope stuff. Also, shouts out to Rachel Thorne, who is constantly translating dope stuff. Shouts out to Otherworld Barbara, obviously. All right, a lot of Moto Hagio like stuff, just Banana Fish, an earlier translation, just, you know, just like top notch stuff. So shouts out to both of those women. They are phenomenal people and really, really dope translators. So you already know what it is. But that's where I am. It is 2:19. I gotta stop because I gotta get to work. You know, I gotta get to work. All right. And thank y'all for just like coming through. You know, again, I'm back, but the way that I'm coming back is it's just got to be different because like I got to be consistent about things, and I've been really trying to work on consistency. You know, so yeah, all right. Twitter, like I've been kind of on, but like not in the way that I used to. Like when I was on Twitter, it was like content, like I'm talking about the thing, and this is how I'm feeling. But it was also making me kind of sad because, you know, just like I didn't feel like that's like important, but like I also need to, again, I need to adjust like how am I approaching certain things when I'm talking about things. Like, what should I do? What do I feel like will actually like work, and what will reach like certain people. You know what I mean? So again, they're just things that I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna adjust how I approach things. Just, again, mainly for like my like mental health. And for, you know, just like self-care and all of that, because that's really, really important. And being able to do that has been very helpful, you know. So again, I'm just going to adjust and be back in this way. And, you know, hopefully y'all still here. You know, and you continue to like, just like, you know, kind of come through for that. You know, so thank y'all for coming through. Again, I'm back. I've been reading manga. I've been reading books. I might also do like a series where I'm just talking about like what book am I reading at the moment. You know, like in terms of like critical books and stuff like that. You know, what manga am I reading? Like what mangas am I reading at the moment? What novels? What critical theory am I reading at the moment? Stuff like that. You know, so I might do that, a little bit of that later. Not right now. Right now I'm just like, ugh. But later. I might do that later. All right, when I get like much more adjusted. All right. So again, thank y'all for coming through. All right, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to work. Okay. I'm the Black Manga Critic. Shouts out to everybody that came through. Y'all are really, really dope. You know what I mean? Y'all are really, really dope. All right. So Shout out to Michael, We Out Here, Kai X, Shuganma, Trent, Share the Dank, Jared Hernandez, Harko Weebu. Y'all great. Y'all great. All right. So expect like 3 videos on Sunday because Weekly Shonen Jump will come out. So expect like a My Hero video, the Promised Neverland video, and a Haikyuu video. If I can catch up in time, expect the Haikyuu video, but I'm not sure. The Haikyuu I might start covering the following Sunday. Maybe not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. By that time, I'll have definitely caught up, and I'll be covering Haikyuu from then on. All right, that's my fiance. She just got home. But like again, shouts out to all y'all. This is how I'm gonna approach the YouTube thing because like I just want to make sure that like I'm doing the things in a way that I need to do it. All right. So shouts out to y'all for coming through. I'm the Black Manga Critic, and I'm out ya.